This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now let's talk about accounts payable baseline configuration in S/4HANA system. Now in S/4HANA system, for us to create the accounts payable baseline configuration, whatever the settings we did in ECC system are exactly the same. Apart from ECC configuration, we are going to have a few additional configurations related to business partner. Okay, so first what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy all these settings as it is. Copy. I'll put this here. Here I'm going to put in S/4HANA environment. The first thing what I'm going to do, define account groups with a screen layout for vendors OBD3. Let me do the same thing in S/4HANA system. I'll go to OBD3, click on new entries. Same things that we did in ECC I am doing here without any changes. There I created a test. Here also I will be creating test local vendors. Click on save. Now vendor account group is created as a test. Second setting what we did was number ranges for vendor account groups using XKN1. Let me go here. XKN1. In this, click on change intervals. We need to find free intervals here. Click on this. I am going to use this one. I'll put TE. Select this. Click on apply. TE is what we have added. This is coming here. 41 all zeros 100. So I'm going to use only few numbers, not the entire range. 100 to, let's say I'll take 120. Let me save this number range. Okay. Third step, what we did was assignment of number range to account group in OBAS. Let's go to OBAS. From the position, let's pick our vendor account group test. And against test vendor account group, we have created a number range with TE. Let me assign TE and then save it. If you get these kind of messages for other account groups, which means somebody deleted this number range, just remove this. Just delete this and click on save. Save. Now these three things have been done. After performing these three steps, what we did, we have created vendor master data. For creating vendor master data, we had a prerequisite, which is your accounts payable reconciliation GL account. We created one reconciliation GL account in FS00. But in our scenario, in our S/4HANA system, we have already uploaded all the GL accounts at the beginning itself. Let us verify if we have this accounts payable GL account or not. Let's go to FS00. Let's change the company code to DEIN. Here let us look at the account group, accounts payable. Accounts payable is here. If I expand this, we have all the GL accounts are already created as part of our initial GL upload. Accounts payable, local, import, trade, everything is already available, which means the GL account creation is not required now. After this, we try to create vendor master data in ECC system using FK01 or XK01. Here also let me try to do the same thing. I'll go to FK01. open a new screen. Let me open FK01. When we click on FK01, on the screen you are getting a pop-up called Create a Business Partner, and at the bottom you are getting a message redirecting to transaction BP as transaction FK01 is absolute, which means in S/4HANA system your ECC system related transactions FK01 or XK01 are eliminated or are removed. In short, in S/4HANA system, there is no point of vendor master creation. Your vendor master can be created only when you create the business partner. Right? In S/4HANA, straight away we cannot create a vendor. Before we create a vendor master, we must create a business partner first. Now, in order to create a business partner, we need to have business partner related configuration settings to be performed. Now let us verify what are these settings related to business partner. Let me close this because we are yet to create business partner related settings. Here let me write down business partner settings. Now to do the business partner settings, let's go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG. In this, let's go to SAP NetWeaver. In this, general settings, not general settings. Not NetWeaver, cross application components. You need to open cross application components. Inside the cross application component, you will find SAP business partner. Open this SAP business partner. Inside the SAP business partner, you will find business partner. Let's open this business partner. Here we are going to do certain basic settings in order to create business partner in our company code. From this, let's go to basic settings. If you go to basic settings, there are certain settings appearing here, but we will not be performing all the settings here. What we will be doing here is, if you go to the third node, which is your number ranges and grouping. Let's open this number range and grouping. In this, first one is your define number ranges. Copy this, define number ranges. Let's find out the T code for this. To find out the T code, let's go to additional information. Again, additional information, display key, IMG activity. Now here, if you see the last 4 digits, it is talking about BUCF. Let's open another window. Let's try to put BUCF. Okay, BUCF is giving you the transaction screen access, which means BUCF is a valid T code for business partner number range, which is fine. Next one or next setting is related to define grouping and assign number ranges. This is your TB001. Let's try to verify TB001. If you see TB001, this is telling transaction TB001 does not exist, which means this is not a transaction code, this is a table. Wherever you find V underscore, which is represented by a table. Okay, this V underscore represents view table, for which there is no transaction code. Now, when you create a number range and when you are creating account group and assignment of number ranges, let me copy this second one. Now, these are the two settings that you'll have to do initially for the business partner point of view. If you look at your ECC settings, in ECC you have created three settings: account group, number ranges, number range assignment. If you look at ECC, you have number ranges, you have account group and assignment of number ranges in a single screen. In short, here also you are performing three steps, here also you are performing three steps. Apart from this, there is no difference or there is no change. In short, whatever the account groups that you have decided for your vendors, the same account group you are going to create for business partner. Whatever the number range you have decided for your vendor, same number range you are going to define for business partner. In short, keep in your mind, for your vendor, for your business partner, there must be the same numbering sequence. Whatever the code you are going to create for business partner or for the vendor, same code must be there for vendor or business partner. In short, your vendor and business partner must have the equal number or the exactly the same number. Now, maintaining the same number for business partner and vendor is called as customer vendor integration or CVI. Okay, before we go to customer vendor integration, let's create this business partner number range and business partner grouping. Now, before we create this number range, we need to keep one thing in our mind, which is whatever the number range that we have created for vendor, the same number range must be created for business partner. So here, let me go to vendor number ranges that we have created, XKN1. In XKN1, let me go to change intervals. Our interval was TE. Come down. This was our number range interval, which is TE, which is created for vendors. Now, when we create business partner number ranges, we must ensure the same numbering sequence is used there. For which, let's open this setting, define number ranges. Let's go to change intervals. Now, let me click on insert line. And if you go to intervals, you will find free intervals. Click on free intervals here also. Let us verify if that same numbering series is available or not. Here we are using 00, 41, 000, 100. Now let's verify 00, 41. If you see, that number range is not available here, correct? The 00, 41 series is not available here, which means we cannot maintain the same number range for BP and vendor here. Now this is again the same point. Whenever you are creating a number ranges in the test server or in your practice server, it will be a little difficult because different people will create number ranges left and right without having the proper understanding. But when you're actually creating these number ranges for any particular client in the real environment, these number ranges are completely blank. You will be creating the first number range in the client system. So any numbering range, any number range interval that you want to create, everything will be available. It is straightforward when you're in a project, but when you're practicing, make sure you will be a little conscious, a little careful by identifying the available number ranges. Okay, now we need to ensure that the number range from this series is available in ECC. Now we need to change number range for ECC also, for your vendor also, to ensure BP and vendor will have the common numbering sequence. I'll go to change interval. Let me click on free interval again, and we need to identify the common number series here and here. Here it's talking about 7 series is there, 8 series is there. If you look at here, 71 all zeros, 1002 and 76 is there. Here 7 all zeros, 3001 to 71, 3001. So which means this number and that number can be utilized here. So what we are going to do, this is 703001. Here also it is available. So what I am going to do, I am going to change this number range. Before I make the change in vendor account group, let me remove the assignment OBAS, because we understood number ranges are not properly aligned. Go to test. This number range assignment let us remove and then save it. If your number range is assigned somewhere, it is not possible for us to delete the number range. Let's remove the assignment. And next let us go to XKN1. Let us verify our TE number range. Now I am going to delete this number range. Save it. Now TE number range has been deleted. Let me identify a number range and then create in line with the business partner number range. Here we were assuming that we will go ahead with 7 series, 7 all zeros, 100 to 709. Now here also you have 700. Let's ensure that you are going to create this number range here. Not responding. What's the problem with this drop down? Okay, so now we are on business partner. First let me go to vendor number ranges. This drop down is creating the problem. 1 minute, let me close this. XKN1 once again, number ranges, and go to interval, click on free intervals. Without 70 is the number range we are going to use. Let's use this number range. I'll put TE, which is test, and click on continue. Test, this is here. Now before I save this number range, I am going to open business partner number range also. To find out, T code was BUCF, but let's go through path. SPRO, SAP reference IMG, cross application components. In this SAP business partner, in this business partner, let's open basic settings. In basic settings, number ranges and groupings, open this. Here let's open define number ranges. Go to change number ranges here also. From intervals, click on free intervals. Now this is 7 series is what we are talking about. Here also I am going to put TE. Now what is the number range interval you are giving? It is fine. It can be different, but from number to number must be aligned for both your vendor and business partner. Let me copy this numbering TE. Let's go down to TE. Now 7 all zeros 3001. Let's look at in vendor also 700. Here you have from 100. So what I am going to do from 3001, I am going to use 350 only, because we are not going to create so many vendors. There is no point of blocking 1 lakh numbers or 10,000 numbers for one account group. Right? We will not be creating 50 vendors also. Hardly 20-30 we will be creating. Let us use only the less number so that the others can use the remaining numbers. Let me press enter and click on save for the business partner number range.
Sir, I have one doubt,
Now,
sir.
yes.
So, what is the significance of extension here besides that? External, I guess.
This is your external number range. If you click on external number range, system will not allot the number. You will have to give the number manually. Wherever you have number ranges on any screen, you will have this EXT, which is your external. Your number range is of two types. One is internal numbering system, the other one is external numbering system. If it is not enabled, which means this is the internal number range, at the time of saving, system is going to pick the next available number from this. How system will come to know? There is something called NR status, number range status. This is the current number.
Okay.
Okay, next number system is going to allot. If you take
Okay.
that external,
Okay. Automatically, it will alert if we not selected this external, right?
correct.
Okay. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Now let me go to vendor number range. For vendor number range, I am going to copy this same number, and here I am going to edit this. From number, I am going to edit, and to number also I am going to edit. Exactly the same number. 3001 and to 3050. Correct? Same number 3001 3050. 3001 3050. Now here one point that we have to understand: when you create a business partner number range and when you're creating vendor number range, we need to ensure that the number range is equal. Vendor number range for business partner, vendor number range for your vendor account group are same. You are not supposed to create a different numbering system for vendor and business partner. This is wrong. Right? In every project, in every client, you are going to maintain same number range for business partner and your vendor. Similarly, we are going to do here. That is what we are doing here. If you look at this, left hand side you are using business partner number range, right hand side you are using vendor number range, but both are same. 7 all zeros 3001 to 3050. For BP also 7 all zeros 3001 to 3050. This is point number 1 that is to be remembered when you are creating accounts payable in S4 HANA system. Any doubt on this number range creation?
Sir, can we use alphanumerical value?
No. If you are using alphanumerical value, that is straightforward external number range.
But in my project in ECC, they are using alphanumerical values, sir. That first they will take as a company code. Then along with the company code, some number series will come. LY triple zero one
In
seven five
ECC,
zero
you
like
can
that.
create it. In ECC, you can create alphanumerical value, but in S4 HANA, we are not supposed to create, because you are going to create a number range in S4 HANA as a business partner. From business partner, system should automatically get this one.
Extended vendor number or customer. Correct,
Correct.
sir.
So this is a derived one. from business partner. So we will not be creating alphanumerical code. If you want, we can create that also, but that is normally not recommended in S/4HANA. Because there is a dependency on the other object, right? If you put that, every time you are going to create your vendor or business partner code manually.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir,
Now this is your point.
if
Go
that
ahead.
is the case, LY001, LY100 to LY999, if we put here in BP, as well as same in vendor. So if one BP we created, and if we extended that BP to customer as well as vendor, the same number will get replicated, na, sir. Where's the
Correct.
dependency will?
Correct.
So we can use, no, sir, then in that condition.
You can use it. You can use it. It's not that it is not possible, but that is not recommended in S/4HANA.
Okay.
Majoritarily, we will be going ahead with internal number range only, except for the one-time vendor. Sometimes for one-time vendors, we will not be using the internal numbering system. We may be using external, but otherwise, for all your vendor and customer, it is recommended to go ahead with internal numbering system. But if it is the business requirement to have the external numbering system to identify company code or whatsoever, no other option, we have to define as external number range. Okay,
Yes,
that
sir.
also
Got
we
it.
will test for one account group using both external number range, wherein we will be giving manually for both.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you create this number range for both vendor and business partner, 2 points that you have to remember. Point number one, you need to remember that vendor code and business partner code must be same at any given point of time in S/4HANA system. You have two options. You can use it in two ways. First way is you can have vendor code different, business partner code different. Your vendor code may be different, business partner code may be different. This is one approach. Second approach is your vendor code and business partner code are both are same. Now, in most of the scenarios, you will be going ahead with an approach wherein your vendor code, your business partner code are equal, are same. Okay, to get same vendor code, to get same business partner code, you will be performing or you will be ensuring the same number ranges are maintained. Now here, the data flow in S/4HANA for creating a vendor master or for creating a customer master is, first you are going to create a business partner, later on you are going to create a vendor master. Okay, in S/4HANA, to create any vendor or to create any customer, before creating vendor, before creating customer, we have to first create a business partner. From business partner master, we are going to define the vendor master, we are going to define customer master. In short, your BP is created first, vendor or customer is created next. Whatever the number is created first will be internal. Whatever the number will be created next is your external number range. According to this logic, are we creating BP first or vendor first in S/4HANA? Which master will be created first?
We will create BP first.
BP master is created first. The master data which is created for the first time will always contain the internal numbering system. So for business partner, this will be internal number range. If you are talking about internal number range, you are not enabling this external tick box, correct? If I tick this external, this will become external number range. If I don't tick, this will become internal number range. Now for business partner, should we create internal or external number range?
Internal. Internal.
Business partner is always internal number range, which means there is no external tick box here. Let's save this. On the other side, for the vendor which is created the next number range, your vendor should always contain the external number range system. Let's come here to the vendor. I think it has reached the idle time limit. So I'll take this external for vendor, press enter. Let me quickly relog in. I think the idle time exceeded. Or the server is down. Can someone check if you are able to log into the server?
No, sir. Server is.
No, right? I think the server is down. Just a minute. Let me message the server guy.
Sir, please, what is the difference between internal and external number range, please?
Yeah.
Sir, it is working now.
Yeah, it's working. T, this is what we created for business partner. We created for business partner internal numbering system. And let's go to vendor number ranges. For vendor number ranges, we are using the same number ranges. But here for vendor ranges, you have to ensure always your vendor number range is external number range. Okay, always make sure you are going to use the same number range interval from your business partner from number to number, and you are going to take NR status as external, which means the number is not automatically assigned by the system. System is going to take the number of business partner and it will create that number as vendor. Okay, let me click on save this. Now here when you take external number range, system is not going to take based on the next available number. Now according to internal number range, when you create the first vendor, your first vendor number should be 3001, correct? Your first number code should be 3001, and from 3001 2 3 4 5 6 7 and so on, it will be the sequential number for every new vendor that is going to create, in case if you are maintaining internal number range. On the other side, if you take this as external number range, system is not going to look at what is the current number, what will be the next number. It is straight away going to take your business partner number, whatever the business partner number is there, same business partner number as it is going to consider as vendor number. In this case, it is not going to consider whether your business partner number is the next available number in vendor or not, because it is your external. Whatever the number you have, the same number is as it is taken. Clear?
Clear. Thank you.
Yeah. I am going to save this now. Now, two number ranges we have created, one for business partner, one for vendor, and one number range is internal, the other number range is external. Now, in S4HANA system, if you want to create a vendor, you must have two masters. One master representing business partner, the other master representing vendor. Now your vendor master record, your business partner master record must contain the same number. If you have different number for BP, different number for vendor, it is difficult to remember or to connect the numbering systems. Now, in order to avoid these kind of confusions, you have another setting called CVI or Customer Vendor Integration. CVI or Customer Vendor Integration represents integrating your customer vendor with business partner. To do those settings, we have to go to another path. Let me come back. Now, first setting, what we have done here is we have created number ranges. After creating a number range, next thing in S4HANA business partner setting is to create account group and a number range. In ECC, we were creating these three as different settings, but in S4HANA, your account group and a number range assignment are in a single screen. Let's open this setting. In this, we have to add a new entry once again. You can create any account group here. Normally, whatever the account group that we created for vendor, let's create the same account group. There we created a test. Here also we will create a test. Test local vendor. Short name, long name also I'll put test local vendor. Number range I'm going to put TE. Test is the grouping name, short text, long text we have given, and the number range is TE, and click on save. The other settings we are not going to use as of now. Okay, we have created number range and account group for business partner also. Let's come back. After this, we have to do some other settings, for which let's minimize the business partner. If you minimize the business partner, you will find another setting. For that, let me minimize the business partner. To do customer vendor integration, you will have to go to master data synchronization. Okay, after business partner settings, come out of business partner. Let's open master data synchronization. If you expand master data synchronization, you will find the different settings here. In this different settings, you will find something called customer vendor integration. This is nothing but CVI. This is a point which you will be asked in your interviews. What is CVI? CVI is nothing but customer vendor integration with business partner. Let's open this CVI, customer vendor integration. In this, you will have to find the different settings. Let's open the first one. First one is not a setting. This is only the text or notes for the consultant, how this process works. Next, you have the setting called business partner setting. This is a configuration for which you have the expansion button. Expand this. Now here you have settings for customer integration, settings for vendor integration. Currently what we are doing is we are performing vendor account group settings. Let's open settings for vendor integration. Let's open settings for vendor integration. In this settings for vendor integration, you have set BP role category, define BP role direction to vendor. These settings are standard. We are not going to modify. We are not going to amend anything. Next one, you have field assignment for vendor integration. If you open this, you will find assign keys, assign attributes. Let's open assign keys. In this customer vendor integration, you are going to perform settings under field assignment for vendor integration, in which assign keys. In that, you are going to decide how your BP number range and your vendor number range are going to get determined. Point number one, we understood BP is a different master record, vendor is a different master record. Correct? BP is a separate master record, vendor is a separate master record. Now you are going to use these two master records combinedly in the business partner. So when you are going to use BP and vendor combinedly with two different identification numbers, you need to understand and you need to give a logic to the system so that it is not going to get confused by assigning the number ranges. Point number one, you have two options. Option number one, you can create BP number first and then derive the vendor number next. Point number 2, you can create vendor number first and derive BP number next. But the most ideal approach, the most commonly used approach is always BP number is created first, vendor number is created next. This is the standard SAP business best practice, and you also say the same thing in your interview even if somebody is asking, because this is what we are going to create even when you're in a project for any client. First, BP number will be created. Based on the BP number, vendor number will be derived. So here you have two settings. Define number assignment for direction BP to vendor, which means BP number will direct vendor number. Whatever the BP number you have, the same number will become vendor number. Point number 1. Point number 2, define number assignment direction vendor to BP. Whatever the vendor number you have, same number will become your BP number. In case if you are using external number range for one setting. If you are using internal number range for one setting, accordingly you have to amend this. In short, if we go to this one, you have vendor, you have BP, and the second line you will be having BP, you will be having vendor. Now you need to decide which number to become first, or which number to be created first and which number to be created next. If you want vendor number to be created first and business partner number to be created next, there is a different approach. If you want BP number to be created first, vendor number to be created next, there is a different approach. Now the most common approach is this one. Okay, BP number will be created first and vendor number will be created next. Clear? This is one approach, and the other approach is this one. In this, vendor number is created first and BP number is created next. Now if you want to follow this approach, make sure the first number is always internal, second number is always external. Is this what we have done now? Correct? BP we have created internal number range, vendor we have created external number range. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right, let's not talk about this now because this will lead to unnecessary confusions which we do not want. This approach we are not going to follow even in the real environment. If somebody is asking to tell that in all your projects you are using only this approach, because this is what is used in majority of all your projects. Now BP number will be created first, vendor number will be created next. The number which is getting created first should have internal. The number which is going to get created next should have external. We followed the same logic. Now let's go to system. Now according to our requirement, should we create BP first and then vendor next, or vendor first BP next? First setting we need to define, or second one?
First one.
BP first. First
We
one.
will have to create the first setting because our intention is to create a business partner first, and the business partner number we want to consider as vendor master number. Click on the first one. When you click on the first one, you are getting the settings. Click on new entries here. When you click on the new entries, you are getting group 2 times. Okay, you are getting a group 2 times. Here is a group, here is another group. Now what is first group, what is second group? For us to understand, you need to just click on drop down button here, because it is not indicating this is BP group or vendor group. Similarly, it is not representing here whether this is BP group or vendor group. Don't assume anything. Come here, open the drop down here. When you open the drop down, look at the top heading here. This is your business partner grouping, which means your first group is business partner. Second group is, if I click on F4 drop down, Second one is your vendor account group. Now, what is our business partner account group which we have created? Test is what we have created. Agree? Test you have created. Press enter. When you press enter, you got the description of business partner test account group description. Similarly, next one is your vendor account group. For vendor also we have created test as our account group. Let me put test here. When I put test here, here also we got the vendor account group description. Now our intention is to get same number or different number for vendor and customer. Sorry, for vendor and business partner, we want to get the same number. To get the same number, you need to click on this same numbers, press enter. Now, if you see this, there is a message which the system is giving. Number ranges for grouping test and account group test are different. Now, let me remove this setting. Let me click on enter. If I tick this setting, you are getting an error message. Let's open this error message. It is telling number ranges for grouping test and account group test are different. Fine. But if you don't tick this, are you getting that error message?
No.
No. Let me save this. I'll tell when we will be using that indicator once we are able to create one business partner vendor master record. Currently, we did not enable same numbers. Reason why we did not enable, because our number ranges are automatically aligned. How our number ranges are automatically aligned? By way of internal numbering for the BP, external numbering for vendor. So whatever the number system is going to get here, by default it is going to become this number. System is not going to derive these two as internal number ranges, correct? Am I correct? Both are not internal number range. If both are internal number range, if you want system to determine both internal number ranges equally or sequentially, you will be creating both internal and then you will be keeping same number there, which we will not be doing. One number is always internal, which is your BP. The other number, either customer or vendor, will always be external. Now I'm not going to keep this setting. Let me save the settings here. Now data already saved. This is what we are going to do with respect to business partner. Third setting is this. Okay. Additionally, what we have done in S4HANA system, whatever the settings we did for accounts payable in ECC, we did exactly the same without any changes. Additionally, there are 3 more settings which we did in S4HANA system, correct? When it comes to accounts payable configuration from ECC to S4HANA, there are no changes from ECC to S4HANA. There are only additional configurations in S4HANA system. Am I correct? No setting from ECC is changed in S4HANA. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, let me create a vendor master now. To create the vendor master, as we all know, in ECC we have created with FK01 or XK01. Let me put FK01 here. When we put FK01, you are getting this screen called Create a Business Partner, and it is telling redirecting to transaction BP as transaction FK01 is absolute, which means FK01 is removed in S4HANA system. We have to use business partner. Even if you type wrong transaction code in S4HANA, it will be redirecting you to the new transaction code, which is BP. Okay, but let us not use this FK01. Let me use BP. In S4HANA system, to create or to display to change customer vendor, single transaction code BP must be used. Let's click on BP. BP itself is the transaction code. Here you need to decide what is your vendor, whether your vendor is a person, whether your vendor is an organization, whether your vendor is a group. Normally group we will not be using, either we will use person or you will use an organization. First, you have to know what you are going to create as a vendor. Let's say if I want to create Reliance Digital as my vendor, do I need to consider Reliance Digital as a person or as an organization?
Organization.
Reliance Digital will be an organization. If I want to create Raju as my vendor, I should not create Raju as organization because Raju is the name of a person. I'll have to create that as a person, which means before you create the business partner, you must know what name you are going to create. It is not that you click on person and then you will try to write Raju Enterprises Private Limited, then that is wrong. Our basic understanding is wrong. First, always remember which name you are going to create. Accordingly, you are going to create the business partner, because even when you are in a project, nobody will come to the BP screen, click on person organization. They will think what to create. Even before you come to vendor master creation or business partner creation, you must have all the information with you. Am I correct? Vendor name, address, everything is readily available with you. Right? Only then you are going to create the master record. Same approach you also adopt here. Assume a name, any name that is of your choice. Accordingly, you decide whether to create a person or to create an organization. Let's create an organization. Click on organization. When you click on organization, you are going to get create organization, and here you have grouping, create role in business partner. First thing that you need to decide is which group you are going to create this business partner. Let us create, or let us select the group that we have created. We created test as a group. Okay, this is our group that we have created. Now, if you remember this, in CVI setting, in customer vendor integration setting, we have assigned two account groups. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
In customer vendor integration, we have assigned two settings. If you are on the same screen, let me open this once again. Position, test. If you look at this setting thoroughly, first one is your business partner grouping. When you give business partner grouping as test, against this you have already given what will be your vendor grouping, which means whenever you select BP grouping, the respective vendor account group is automatically determined by the system through configuration. Clear? You will not be able to change vendor group once you select business partner group. Am I clear? Your BP
Yes,
grouping
sir.
is going to bring vendor grouping also. Now you have given this grouping is going to determine both number ranges, BP number range and vendor number range, because each account group is assigned with a number range. Once you give this, first role that you are going to have is 0000, which means all zeros. If you do a drop down here, you are getting different roles here. Every role represents the nature of a business transaction that you are going to perform. But before you create any role, you are supposed to create business partner general role, which is 6 times 0. Okay, how many zeros you have? 6 zeros. This is the standard business partner role in every organization, in every system. Here you are going to maintain the name and address of the business partner or your vendor. Let's put Reliance Digital. Search time, I'll put digital. Street, I'll say electronic street. House number 70, postal code, city, country, region. These are all same like your vendor master creation that you have done. Below this, you have the other settings. Make sure all the other settings are created. If any setting is not created properly, system is going to give a error message on the respective tab. Assuming I don't give postal code, I click on enter. And let me try to save this. Now business partner is created, which means in the business partner postal code is mandatory. If there is any mandatory field which we have not filled up, system is going to give a error message to us. Now let me go to change mode here to update the postal code. Now once you give the initial screen, which is your address, you have to check address overview. Different tabs which are available on this screen, we have to ensure that everything is properly filled up. Identification, control. Now the same screens that you are able to see on the ECC system also, most of the things are common in ECC and S4HANA except the initial screen. If you go to payment transaction, this payment transaction is the same thing that you will see on your vendor. We are going to compare vendor master and BP master thoroughly in the upcoming sessions. Now these are all optional, not required to be created at the beginning. Initially, if you create only the address, that is sufficient. Okay, give the business partner role, create the address, click on save. When you click on save, you are going to receive the business partner number. Here we got this number, correct? BP is what is generated here. This number is what we got here. Now according to this requirement, when you create a vendor, are we supposed to get the same number here? Correct? According to this setting, when you create the vendor, you are supposed to get the same number which is of your business partner. Let's go to vendor. Now what we have created is only a custom. What we have created is only business partner. Our intention is to create a vendor master. Once your business partner is created, next thing is to create a vendor. Vendor you are not going to create separately. To create a vendor, you will have the role. You will be talking about business partner roles. For vendor, there will be a different role in SAP. Once you are on the business partner master role or business partner general role, which is all zeros, you have to go to change mode of the business partner. What I'll do, I'll copy this number. Let me come out /n. Now I'll go to BP once again. Once you come to business partner, you will have to find business partner to create or to extend vendor role to the business partner. So far we have only created business partner. To do that, you can find a business partner. Your business partner is an organization, or you can simply select business partner. You want to find business partner by business partner number, search term, external number, customer code or vendor code. We want to search by business partner number because we know the BP number. Put your BP number here, click on start. It will give you this, or you can type by Reliance Digital. If you want to search that way, you need to click on name here and search name, always star Reliance. Click on enter, you will find Reliance Digital here. Number is 7 all zeros 3001. Double click on this. When you double click on this, this is how you are getting. This is option number 1 to find your business partner. Option number 2. Once you come to BP screen, on the top you will find an icon called this Open BP. Okay, you need to click on this Open BP. This will give a pop-up screen asking you to input business partner number. You know the BP number, put the BP number, click on continue. This is another way you will be opening business partner number. Alright, here make sure you are on the change mode in case if you are on display mode. If you are on display mode, you will not be able to edit the roles. So you need to ensure you are on the change mode. Click on change mode here. Now I am looking at here. This is display organization. Let's go to switch between display and change. Ensure you are on the change organization. For vendor, you need to open the BP role, find out the BP role related for vendor. For that, you are going to have the role with this. Let me scroll down. These are the two roles that we are going to use. First one is FLVN00, second one is FLVN01. The other roles, ignore it, these are created by somebody else. Don't follow the other roles, only remember FLVN00 and FLVN01. BP role for vendor, FLVN00 and FLVN01, right? Let's select. So FLVN00 is FI vendor for, ignore that, FI vendor is nothing but FLVN00 because you are going to have two vendor masters. One vendor master representing finance vendor, the other vendor master representing purchasing vendor. Even if you see in your ECC system, you have two options. Option number one, FI vendor using FK01. Option number two, your vendor using MK01 or XK01. Correct? If you are using vendor master in purchasing side also, in order to create a purchase order and all, you will have to create vendor or PO vendor. For that, you are going to use 01 as the vendor role. But if you don't want that, you will be creating FLVN00. This is mandatory role for every vendor. Select this FI vendor role. When you click on this FI vendor role, system is going to bring the address. System is going to bring the address from your initial screen. Here you select whatever the new fields that are related to this. English, and all other information is automatically extracted from your business partner master role. Any additional things that you have, let's say payment transactions, vendor general data, vendor tax data, this you have to give manually here. If you look at this here, you have vendor number which is currently showing as internal. What it is showing? It is showing vendor number, but this is internal or external?
Yes,
External.
But what it is giving here?
still not stated.
This is showing as internal. Now let us go to our number range. Let us go to our vendor number range. XKN1. Change intervals. If we go to TE is what we have created. For TV, we have made this as external. Click on save. Click on save. It is showing us internal here. But what is our expectation? Our expectation is to get the same number as vendor number, correct? Our expectation is to get same 7 all zeros 3001 as your vendor number. Am I correct? Is that what our requirement, to get same this number as your vendor number? Okay. Now if you look at the account group, this is grayed out. You are not able to change because this account group is derived from your BP account group. Once you are fine with this information, straight away go to company code tab on the top. On the company code, give your company code as DEIN, press enter. Once you give DEIN, when you press enter, you'll have to give reconciliation account. Open the drop down, you will find all the reconciliation GLs. If you see this, you are able to see only one GL account, which is 241 all zeros. But why we are getting only one? We have multiple account created under reconciliation. Let's come to this screen. FS00. Let's open accounts payable here. Where is our accounts payable? To change. DEIN. Accounts payable is here. If you open accounts payable, you have different account numbers that are already created. Local, import, trade, export, all these things. But ideally, when you open the drop down for your reconciliation account, system is supposed to display all the GL accounts. Am I correct? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
If you go to control data, this is your vendor K. Let's go to the second one. For second one, if you see, there is no reconciliation indicator. If you look at the third one, there is no reconciliation indicator. That is the reason it is not showing these GL accounts. Whatever the GL account which contains reconciliation account indicator, for K, these GL accounts are going to reflect there. Clear? All the small points also you have to remember at the beginning, otherwise we will miss out the logics. Vendor, employee, this is also not created. Vendor, here also let's change to vendor. Save. One time also let's create as vendor. Save it. Now we have created all the accounts payable GL accounts as reconciliation account for vendor. Now let's go to the same screen. Let me open the drop down again. If I open the drop down, am I getting all the GL account numbers now? Right, now you are able to see all the GL account numbers. Here what you need to do is, you need to select the appropriate GL account based on the account group that you have selected on the initial screen. Which account group are we selecting? Local vendors related account group, correct? We have selected local vendor account group. For local vendor, whatever the accounts payable GL you have, that one you have to select. It is not that from the drop down everything is accounts payable, I will select anything. That is a mistake, because this is going to have an impact on your balance sheet. Your balance sheet will show incorrect figures on the wrong GL account. To ensure that your balance sheet financial figures are represented properly, make sure your vendor account groups, the reconciliation GL accounts, are selected accordingly. Select accounts payable local here and select sort key 001. Apart from these two, we have not selected anything. Even when we created vendor master in ECC, we just given vendor name, vendor address, reconciliation account, sort key, and then we saved. Am I correct? In ECC, same thing we have done. In S4 HANA also, let us do the same thing. Others we are not doing now. We will be doing based on the respective scenario. Let me try to save. Now, when I am saving, the intention is to get the same number, 7 all zeros 3001 as your vendor number. If it is not coming, we will have to check what things we are doing wrong. Now if you see, you are getting a runtime error. Now this is called runtime error, or this is called dump. Okay, this is called point number 1, runtime error. Point number 2, this is called as a dump. Now these kind of things, when you are getting, you are going to show these kind of things to the technical consultant, in short ABAP consultant, when you are in a project. These are quite common when you are working in a real environment. For different reasons, you will be getting runtime errors. Any runtime error that you are going to receive, you are going to take the help from the ABAP consultant. They will see why the runtime error is coming. Accordingly, they are going to check this. Now if you see this, it is giving you something related to number range. It is giving something related to number range. Now let us verify our number range settings once again. Now here TE is what we have created, but TE is an external number range. But one mistake we have done, I thought somebody will notice, nobody has noticed. First what we did, we have created this number range, we assigned a number range to our vendor account group. Am I correct? Correct? First what we did, we created vendor number range, we assigned to the vendor account group, But initially when we created our number range as internal number range. So later on what we did, we removed the assignment from the account group, we deleted the number range, we again created the number range with external. Remember, this is what we have done.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Next one, after recreating number range, did we assign it again or not? If I go to
We will not
OBAS,
assign, sir.
if you go to test, we have not assigned any number range. Since there is no number range assigned for the vendor, system is not able to detect any number there. That is why it has given that runtime error screen. Clear why you got that runtime error?
Yes, sir.
Now let's assign the number range TE. Let me save this. Now number range setting is properly defined. Let's go to business partner screen once again. Reliance search. This is your BP code. Be on the change mode. Select the vendor related account group, role. FLVN00 is your vendor role. Select this FLVN00 role. Come down, check if there are any mandatory field. Language is mandatory. Select this language as English. And straight away go to the company code. But before we go to company code, let me show you one thing here. Are you sure you want to change without saving? Yes. BP again. Reliance. Open this. Fill the mandatory field, which is your language is English mandatory. Next one, if you go to vendor role FLVN00, now here let's go to vendor general data tab. If you go to vendor general data tab, system is giving vendor number as external, it is giving external vendor number. Correct? Now the way it is behaving is changed. Now this number range, it is asking us to input or it is not asking? External vendor number. Yes, no? Is this asking us to write or it is automatically taking?
Asking us to write.
It is asking us to write. But our expectation is when you create a business partner, your vendor number should be automatically derived based on the system. Now, why this is asking? Let us go back to the settings. Let me go to this one. Here you have business partner assignment, customer vendor integration. We did not put same number here. Now let me put same number. Let me click on enter. I'll click on save this here. Now this is saved. Earlier when we were doing this, we were getting an error message. Correct? First time when we did, we got error message. Agree? That time we got error message because for your vendor account group, there was no number range interval maintained. Now understood why we were getting the error at the beginning? Okay. Now let's try to create the vendor again. BP, Reliance, this is our number. Change mode, let's select vendor master role, FLVN00. enter. All the fields are filled up. If you go to vendor general data, now is this asking that vendor number is mandatory now, or it is not asking? It has automatically determined the number. Now it is not asking, correct? Now we have not even created this vendor, but even before you create the vendor, it is taking the same BP number as vendor number. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Right. Earlier what happened, it was not taking the number, it is asking us to input the external number range, because in the BP setting in the customer vendor integration, we did not put same numbers option. Since we did not put same number option, system is assuming we do not want same number for BP and vendor. That is why it was asking previously, select a number of your choice as external number range. But now it has taken automatically. This is what it has to do. Now, once you see this vendor number range has come automatically based on the BP code, vendor code has come. Based on the BP group, vendor group has come. Click on company code segment. Here you put, now here if you see, it is not showing what is the vendor number, correct? In company code data, it is not showing what is the vendor number so far. Let me put company code. Even if I put company code, number is not coming. Why number is not coming? Why it was showing in the general data? Why this is not showing here? Because in general data, it is reading the settings from the business partner, customer vendor integration. According to that, your vendor code will be this. That is what it was showing. But once you are actually on the vendor master for the company code segment or for company code role, you have not yet created this. Only when you click on create, system is going to display vendor number here. Right? Now reconciliation account, let's open the drop down. Select. This reconciliation account should always be selected based on the account group that you are selecting. If you are selecting local vendors, make sure you select local accounts payable. Do not randomly select, that will create to unnecessary problems in your reporting. Sort key will be 001. Enter. After this, now let us try to save to check if we will be able to create the business partner or we are going to receive any error. Now if you see changes have been saved, you got the vendor number assigned here, same number, correct? Clear this, what we have done? Now once you
Okay, sir.
understand the concept, creating this BP configuration, your vendor master configuration, creating the first BP and vendor is not going to take more than 15 minutes. We would have spent long time to understand conceptually to see the different errors, but when you understand this, when you're sitting on the system and practicing, your time is 15 minutes. In short, less than 15 minutes. Maximum time to create baseline configuration for vendor in S4HANA system along with the business partner and BP master, vendor master should not take more than 15 minutes. Your target is only to create one vendor. That's it. Because later on you are going to upload the data. In the next sessions, we will be seeing how you are going to create vendor master with LSMW, how you are going to create vendor master with LTMC. Because when you're in a project, you're not going to create vendor manually. You will either go ahead with LSMW if you are in ECC version. If you are on S4 HANA version, you are going to create vendor master with LTMC template. Clear, right? Now, when you get any errors, if your customer vendor BP numbers are not coming properly, you have to understand what settings you are missing. Even if you miss a small setting, it will not work. It will start giving you runtime errors and all, which is very difficult for us to understand. We will get into unwanted confusions. Any doubts on this? Understood, right? What we have done, how we've created basic accounts payable and created the vendor master.
Yes.
On business
Okay.
partner, so we need to create each business partner for each vendor account. For example, this is
Yes,
Reliance, right? Okay.
correct.
So this is not considered as a group for business partner. So Reliance have many vendors. business, so that for if
You mean
one
to
business,
say,
yeah, if
let's say
one
you
business,
have another,
if the same business partner, we can't create multiple vendors like that.
no, no. Your business partner and vendor is 1:1.
Oh,
Let's say you have another vendor called Bajaj Electronics. You cannot use the same number for Bajaj Electronics. For Bajaj Electronics, it's a different master, it's a different vendor altogether, correct? For every
yeah,
vendor there will be a different vendor master,
okay.
sorry, different business partner master.
So this business role we can use as a standard, right? So we can create this as our own, but we are using only standard.
Correct. Same Reliance, for the same number you can create as a customer.
Okay.
Okay, but it will be same name only, Reliance only. But with Reliance, if you are selling, you can create that Reliance as a customer. You will be assigning a customer role. For the Reliance, if you are purchasing, you will be creating as a vendor role. But the name will not change. The number will not change. The same number will be there, but different functionalities will be enabled via business partner roles.
Okay. So here I
Okay.
can see that in BP also we can have the vendor payment transaction, and in vendor creation also we have payment transaction. So in both we need to give our bank account, right? In business and vendor
Payment
payment transaction.
transactions. Payment transactions you are seeing on the custom company code segment. If you see this, you're on the company code segment. If you see this company code is grayed out. You are currently on the company code segment. On the company code segment, whatever the payment transactions that you have, this is related to our payment, from which bank you want to initiate the payment and all. But
Okay, so
on the general data, you have the payment transactions. On the general data, this is your vendor payment details, vendor bank account information.
beneficiary detail. Okay,
Okay, on the company code, you will have the same payment transactions. In the company code, this is our payment related.
okay.
Okay, from
Hello,
which
sir.
bank of us we have to give? Yes,
Sir, if I want to change some field status in BP, how to change it?
you have the field status configurations. In the configuration,
In
you will have
BP
the
also.
settings here. Yes,
Okay, sir.
BP also you will have field status. You can search that, you will be able to find out. If not, I'll show how to do it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir,
Sir,
tra can we transfer GL master to one client to another client?
GL master from one client to another client.
Yes, sir.
Normally we don't do it. You will be
Okay.
creating, because it's any master data we don't want to transfer from client to client. We will upload in the each client separately. From
Okay, sir.
company code to company code, we will transfer.
Okay. Only configuration we can transfer.
Only configuration. Any master data, any transaction data is purely client dependent. Sorry, client independent, not dependent. So if you want
Okay, sir.
data in development, you will have to do it separately in development, in quality separately, in production separate. Okay, that is why for
Sir,
master data, for transaction data, you have templates. Whatever the template you have used in quality, the same template you will be using in production or in the other system.
sir, what
Okay.
is the use of BP in ECC, sir? I found the same the path the BP is present in ECC, but we don't use that one, sir.
In ECC, we have the business partner, but in ECC that is used for your HR module and treasury modules. But there is no connection between BP customer vendor in ECC. BP is entirely different. Customer vendor is entirely different. These three things are independent in ECC, but in S4 HANA, these three things are dependent.
In HR
In the
means in
HR,
salary part, they were considered as BP as an employee.
Correct. And in your treasury module, you are going to treat your banks and all as your business partners.
Okay.
So the same vendor, they have in different four states they have business, but GST number also is different. Can we create one vendor or we do create four vendors?
If your tax number is changing, you are going to change this. Because for one vendor, you can create only one tax code, right? One tax number.
Yes, sir.
If you go to this business partner, you go to the general data, vendor tax data. If you go, you will have tax category here.
Okay.
VAT, this one, purchase VAT, you will have GST number somewhere. Because we have not configured any GST, that's why it's not showing here.
We will create four vendors, right?
Yeah, here you have tax numbers, right? In the tax number, you are going to select India. Where is your India? Here you are going to select the respective one. Netherlands, like this you'll get Indian tax number here. And that tax you'll have to maintain here. Your GST registration number you will be selecting here.
Sir, in my current company, they created separately vendor as per state, like Delhi, different vendor, and UP, different
Correct.
vendor. It's same also in S4HANA.
Same. Because for a vendor master, you can create only one tax code here. One
Okay,
tax
sir.
number, tax registration number.
Okay.
When it comes to your vendor master, the same settings that you have done in ECC in S4HANA. The only change is business partner. Once you are on this vendor role, you will find everything exactly same as your ECC, no changes. You may find additional functionality, but no change in the existing function.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then let's close this recording.